Well, today more and more of us are finding that work is no longer a 9-to-5 experience. We can't leave it at the office, and we rarely turn it off. Eric Termuende is a best-selling author on the topic of the future of work. He's been featured in Forbes, Huffington Post, TEDx, and he's on a mission to change the way we talk about work and how we get fulfillment from it. And he joins us in the studio this morning. Thanks for coming in today, Eric.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you. So, yeah, I mean, anybody who's been working for any length of time and has the current nature of work to compare to past days, you see changes. And where do you see the changes, and where do you hope to go with those changes?
I mean, technology, I think, is the biggest catalyst of this change. I mean, I'm seeing studies now that suggest that with the ability to multitask, and I say multitask with air quotes, certainly, we're living 31-hour days is really what it comes down to. Work is a bigger identifier of who we are now than it's ever been for the reasons that you suggested. I mean, we can be stirring the spaghetti pot at dinner, being on a conference call, do that one last email before bed. First thing we do in the morning, we roll over and check that cell phone again. And it truly is influencing who we spend our time with, our social circles, where we're volunteering, and what we're doing in the community as well.
So is that something we're just supposed to expect? I mean, is this the future, or are there changes we can make to lead a more healthy lifestyle?
I think healthy is pretty subjective. You might want a 9-to-5 transactional check-in, check-out experience. And if that's the case, there are plenty of opportunities to do that. Myself, for example, I might want to be accumulating as much money as possible, building that resume as fast as I can, and working from 7 to 7, 7 to 10. And that's okay, too. What I like to say is that there isn't one best culture. There is an optimized culture for the experience that you and I respectively are looking for.
Okay, you mentioned psychological safety in the workplace. Define that for us.
I think psychological safety is really being able to be your full self without fear of repercussion of your status, of your career, of your reputation, where dissent is okay, but we still have that sense of trust. And I think in leadership today, given that work is such a grandiose experience, having that sense of safety, doing the best work that you can because you want to, is incredibly important.
So are there any particular skills that we should focus on to be able to really fit into this new workplace?
Unfortunately, the most important skills now are still called soft skills, and I'm not really sure why it's called soft anymore.
What's a soft skill?
Something like active listening, creative thinking, problem solving, time management, speaking, the ability to actually pay attention to somebody. One of the quotes that I heard recently is people would rather be criticized than ignored. And in this distraction economy, I think more than anything, we just want to be heard. We want to be seen. And I think if we can give that attention and time to somebody, that's how we can create great relationships in the workplace.
Right. So as employers, let's look at the employer's perspective right now. What can we do as employers to attract the right people to our operations?
I think culture right now is very much a reactive exercise in the Western world. If we made it a proactive exercise, and instead of just looking for people who value integrity, honor, respect, highly motivated, communicative, team-driven players, look for someone who's wanting to share the same experience and ultimately values the same lifestyle that we do as well. What are those habits? What are those rituals? What are those artifacts and those traditions within our organization that people can really align to, they can gravitate to, and they can really sink their teeth into?
Yeah, and I guess, providing the right landscape is very, very important. But as far as the individuals who are working and looking for these landscapes, is there any special way, I mean, in terms of training, in terms of the choice of occupations, should they be looking at things differently than they have been looking at in the past?
RBC actually put out a fantastic Future of Jobs report this year. That's a 4-year outlook. And what they're doing is they're reclassifying job titles to more competencies. You're either a crafter, a doer, a solver, a facilitator, and there's 2 others. And I think that if we can look at more of the competencies and how we apply our skill sets, you can go from forestry to agriculture, agriculture to teaching, teaching to healthcare, and know that your skills can still be applied in different industries. So I think understanding ourselves and how we fit in this world that's changing faster than it ever has before has never been more important.
All right, before we let you go, Eric, you're going to be speaking tonight. Tell us about that.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, Sea Tribe, a good friend of mine, Sar Safa, he's put on a multi-day festival here in Edmonton, and I'm really excited to be a part of that, to talk about the future of work, the skills and competencies needed, and just excited to be here in Edmonton.
So where can we get the details on that?
Capsule Tribe, Sea Tribe online. Just do a quick Google search. I'll be speaking tomorrow morning. And,
Sea Tribe.
Hope to see you there.
All right.
Awesome. Thank
you, sir. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
For more information about Eric and what was discussed today, you can visit them online at erictermuende.com or through his Twitter handle @Termuende.